You know what this is, right? After 5 years of Imalent MS18 hegemony, it has finally been dethroned by another Imalent. Who might knew, right? We maybe thought Acebeam, maybe Lumen, but no. After 5 years, Imalent decided to make even brighter flashlight, and here we are with SR32 with 120,000 lumens claimed, beating the older record holder by 20,000 lumens. What you would see in this review is my own private sample sourced from Imalent directly, and I've spent with it 1.5 weeks, so I think I can tell you all about this flashlight. Enjoy! Hello YouTube, flashlight enthusiast here, and here we are with new record holder Imalent SR32 with claimed 120,000 lumens and over 2 kilometers of raw. As you can see, it did come with this premium case. I've heard that first batches were shipped in those standard cardboard box like SR16 for instance, but here we are with a nice case thanks to my friend. They shipped it with that packaging, which I'm really grateful if you care for that. There's a nice handle here, and this obviously the premium packaging. As you're paying that much for a flashlight, I think it deserves it. What clearly catches my attention is the 2-year warranty period instead of 5 years as they offered previously. There is this nice manual in different languages. Imalent also decided to include a nice quick charger, 100 watt as you can see, and it can charge with different currents. Because of the shiny surface, obviously it scratches easily, and I have already used this one. So what is really quite nice in my opinion is that you can not only use it for charging your SR32 but also your phone and other devices, so you get a universal charger with your Imalent. Nice! Obviously there's also a USB-C to USB-C charging cable to utilize with your charger. There is a nice shoulder strap included, similar to my MS18. However, this is what it looks like after approximately 10 to 15 walks with Imalent MS18. So unless you want to spoil your precious analyzation, I'm not really taking chances here. Because while MS18 had this stainless steel or some other different material attachments here and there, unfortunately SR32 does not have that privilege. Okay, so you also get some bunch of accessories in the standard Imalent wrapper. So what we do get is 2 sets of spare O-rings, as you can see, for battery pack and charging port, as well as 2 Allen keys and 2 screws for the handle. Quite nice. Last but not least, something we all came here for. Alright, let's get this done, shall we? Also remember to remove this nasty plastic film. Looking at the Imalent SR32 itself, you can clearly tell that it is a premium product. Looking at the anodization, you can tell that this time Imalent went for the matte anodized finish, similar to the ones in Armitech, however slightly less grippy, but let me tell you that despite no knurling here on the battery tube or handle, the grip is just excellent. The downside of it is obviously the chipping that can happen really instantly. Unfortunately, this is the price you have to pay for the looks. And when it comes to the design, I think we have it all. So starting from the handle with the switch similar to SR16 design, but we also do have the switch on the body so you can use it without the handle. We do have 1, 2 and 3 cooling fans, large diameter, much larger than SR16, more like MR90 or even MS18, and they also incorporated, well known from higher models, display obviously, so you can clearly tell what lumen level you are in, but also in triple click the switch you'll also get the approximate voltage of the battery pack. And speaking of the battery pack, you can unscrew it obviously. It does feature a really long set of threads, and that's why the heat coming from the head really comes over for the full length of this battery pack, so you can clearly tell that the machining and finish on this one is really excellent. The threads are well lubricated, well cut, and we do have double O-ring here. Excellent. And here from this side, obviously gold plated contact, looking really premium. And this relatively small battery pack houses 8 Samsung 40T batteries, so you have plenty of power to fuel those 32 power-hungry LEDs. These are XHP50.3 high intensity cool white, same that can be found on SR16. However, here you have 32 of them, so it's like combining two SR16s into one flashlight. And luckily for me, there are no signs of black holes, burning LEDs or whatever. I can barely spot one dark spot inside one of my reflectors, but God forbid me, I don't know which one. But everything looks really great. Those are not that deep as you can see, but thankfully Imalent decided that all of those reflectors were quite deep and the same depth, so there is little light escaping the side of the beam, but rather going straight through the hotspot and then leaving you with quite bright spill, but not the opposite way, like for example in Beam X75. So I'm really grateful for the amazing beam pattern that will give you the idea of much brighter flashlight. That's how it should be done. Obviously glass with anti-reflective coating looks quite premium, but unfortunately the bezel here has same anodization as the body, so as you can see I can already tell that there are some chips in this coating. That's really a shame. Okay, so moving on, we do have two attachments here at the head, one here and one on the opposite side, and these are obviously attachments for your shoulder strap. However, I wouldn't advise attaching it to here unless you want some chips in your anodization, because another point would be probably here, one of those, you know, holes in the tail cap. Obviously nice looking tail cap, similar to other Imalents with SR32 engraving. However, on the side you will find USB-C charging port. Finally Imalent understood that they have to do it accordingly to the market standards, and boy oh boy, they did quite well. You got 100-watt charger in a set, and charging, as you can see, took me around 1 hour and 11 minutes from 0 to fully charged, which is just amazing judging that you have 8 cells. And not only that, you also have the power bank feature from USB-C charging port instead. The one thing I can really scratch here is the O-ring with some damaged structure that was attached underneath the cover, so I removed it instantly. But as you can see, there is also another fuck up with Type-C spelled the wrong way, but this is really a minor thing that I shouldn't really mention. But what I really have to praise Imalent for is their build and finish. This flashlight is really built like a tank, and look how compact it is compared to the older King or maybe some other flashlights. For instance, there is the previous King, Imalent MS18. Look how much smaller the new King is. Here is the well-known Beam X75, close to the Imalent. A little bit smaller, mind you, but 2/3 of a Lumen output. Last but not least, the SR16. And here things get really interesting, because look at the difference in finish and anodization. SR32 looks almost grey, but in reality is black, that the camera setting is off somehow. But look at the size of the reflector. There's not really huge difference, mind you, between those two, despite the numbers on paper, but mind you that human eye perceives brightness quite differently. But there's just, you know, the SR16 taken into a larger scale, some minor tweaks in design. As you can see, the fans are substantially larger, but other than that you really get similar performance out of those two. It is just amazing. Wow. And coming back to the marvelous design, not only does it feature 3 big cooling fans to dissipate all this heat, not only there are numerous threads to transfer the heat to the end of the battery tube and the handle to protect your hands from the heat, but there is also this special design like a ring inside of the head. As you can see here, this lighter element, I'm not sure if this is copper or some other metal, but it really keeps the heat inside the head. You will see at the runtime graph section that although it does step down and the flashlight head is slightly hot, the real hotness is hidden inside the head because of this ring, but here you can touch it with your hands because it nearly has like 55 to 60 degrees Celsius all the way to the battery tube, and the handle stays warm but never too hot, and you do have the switch to operate this despite being hot. This is the true marvel of this design. One more thing about the handle. As you notice, we have 2 different Allen keys to unscrew it. So this one inconvenience, you have to carry 2 keys to unscrew it, but luckily, as in SR16, you can use it without the handle, although I wouldn't recommend it because of the heat. Handle is quite comfortable, although no ergonomic, as it is, for example, here or here. The head of SR32 is so heavy that while holding by the handle, you can clearly feel it outweighing the rest, so the balance of the flashlight is not really perfect. Okay, so cooling fans provide some noise, maybe disturbing one in the forest. So how bad it is? I would say not bad at all. Let's listen. The user interface. Alright, let's get through it. So, 1 click for on, 1 click for off, triple click from off will give you the approximate voltage displayed on the OLED display, which is quite nice. So when you are in the on position, you simply hold the switch and the lumen level will advance and it will be displayed on the OLED display. From 25,000 you will get fan on, and obviously there's no turbo in the loop. However, double tap will give you this amazing turbo output. Double tap again will give you the strobe mode, double tap again turbo mode, and then you click once to turn the flashlight off, which is just absurdish. How can you make double tap from turbo into the strobe mode? And there is the better one. There is no single shortcut to the lowest mode. Usually you will go like this. Some higher output. Obviously there is mode memory, so you don't want to blind yourself and you triple click from off to access the lowest mode. This is the Imalent SR16, mind you. Somehow even brighter flashlight does not have this option. SR32 has the lowest mode in the loop, so if you are going into the, let's say, 25,000 lumen mode, and then you want the lowest output, you have to turn the flashlight on, cycle through 50,000 lumens, and then again to 30 lumen. This is just horrible. When the flashlight is on, you can also read out approximate voltage by triple clicking the switch, and it will give you the voltage readout. Obviously, when the flashlight is off, you can also hold the switch for like 3 seconds to manually turn on the fans to cool it down. They turn off whilst you turn on the flashlight, obviously, despite, temperature, internal, external, whatever. It is not the intelligent one, as in AceBeam it still functions like you enter the 25,000 or higher mode, then the fans will automatically start. And obviously the most important feature probably for you is the lockout function, so 4 clicks and the padlock icon will appear on the screen. 4 click again to unlock it. And will not turn on by itself, luckily, so there's a good sign of it. Interesting fact, obviously there is a physical lockout available. Good. Here you can see my lumen measurements. As you can tell, most of them are quite close to what manufacturer says they are, except for the turbo output where I measure a little over 105,000 lumens, so still much brighter than my MS18W, but not close to what they claimed with 120,000. Looking at the runtime graphs, you can clearly tell that SR32 is a thermal beast. You can tell that after 30 seconds we still have over 94,288 lumens, and after 51 seconds when it started to step down we had over 90,000 lumens. And then the step down is quite quick, because like 26 seconds to around 20,850 lumen level, but the flashlight had only achieved 40 degrees Celsius in the outside, mind you. And then we do have this holy grail, this flat output regulation, around 21,463 lumen with overall runtime of 45 minutes before turning off, and flashlight body stabilized at 56 degrees. Imagine what could it be when it wasn't castrated thermally and it could heat up to, let's say, even 80 degrees Celsius. Would we be able to stabilize around 30,000 lumens with this host? I believe so. Well, performance castration can be seen here when I try to reset the turbo output. As you can see, when the flashlight is hit up, unfortunately the turbo reset lasts only 8 to 7 seconds before it starts to sharply step down. I wouldn't go into details, you can check it at the screen right now, but moving on to high, here is where things get interesting, because it surely lasted longer than turbo output. However, as you can see, for the first 35 seconds we actually have the output rising from around 35,000 lumen to around 56,771 lumen before the step down after 59 seconds from over 55,000 lumens over the course of 60 seconds to around 15,862 lumen level. So way below the claimed 25,000, way below 21,000 it stepped down from turbo output. So this measurement is definitely weird, but it is as it is. Obviously 58 degrees after the step down, 63 degrees after stabilizing, and around 45 minutes of over runtime. Weird. Here is your middle two, so around 20,000 lumens flat for around 51 minutes. So as the manufacturer claims, 58 degrees body temperature, so quite nice performance here. Mind you that this is the last mode when the internal fans are cooling the flashlight, you cannot turn them off, so either way it is as came from the factory. Okay, and another surprise, the middle one, so uncooled performance, around 10,000 lumens at start, and as you can see, flat output stabilization is gone. We have like output fluctuations, and after 1 hour and 33 minutes we only have like 8200 lumens, and then a linear output decrease with over runtime of around 2 hours and 9 minutes before turning off, a flashlight body achieving 50 degrees Celsius. Last but not least, the middle low, so around 5,000 lumens at start, and again no flat output regulation whatsoever, although I'm not sure what is going on here, because thermally it can handle the heat without any problem, so there must be some different channels on the driver itself. As you can see, 4 hours and 37 minutes of total runtime, flashlight body achieving 45 degrees Celsius, but from 1 hour and 10 minutes we have linear output decrease over time. Really a shame here. It seems like enthusiast-based community will only judge the turbo and high runtime, so the rest modes you can resign from regulation. Not looking that good from my perspective. Really, I'm disappointed. I hope I didn't bore you to death with my technical details and observations. Let's go outside and see how it operates in the real world. You might be asking yourself, flashlight enthusiast, who is this flashlight really for? And I have no clear answer. I think this flashlight is still meant for enthusiasts because, let's face it, law enforcement and other rescue teams, which are usually not well funded, will not afford a couple of those flashlights costing way over $700 each. On the other hand, aiming for flashlight enthusiasts will always put manufacturers in not most comfortable position when it comes to expectations, and I think this flashlight didn't meet them. Surely, it is still the most powerful production flashlight on the market in 2022, beating the older King MS18. However, the difference is not that pronounced and huge. Additionally, there is a similar SR16 product on the market that to your human eye will not look much dimmer, especially in turbo output when you're blinded in all those excessive light, lighting the dust in the air and the overall moisture. So in my humble opinion, if you're looking for really great throwy flutter like SR32, most of you will probably go with SR16 and will be way more than satisfied because of the size and what this flashlight can offer despite being less powerful on paper. But in reality, your eyes wouldn't tell a difference, as couldn't mine when I compared SR16 face to face with SR32. Maybe in some scenarios you could see the difference in sustainable output and you do have the advantage of 4 extra cells. However, you still have to carry this all over you, and this is not convenient for most people. Don't get me wrong, the SR32 is still an amazing flashlight. I'm really glad Imalent is pushing the boundaries of more and more lumens packaged in more compact flashlights. However, in my opinion, this is the flashlight mostly for collections and sitting on a shelf rather than practical use because of the output that is not really usable in real life and the heft and dimensions of this monster. Please let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about this amazing flashlights, and would you use it in practice if you had one, or maybe you have one and you do. So please share your experience. I hope you liked the video and I answer all your questions. If not, please leave them in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the content and would like to support the channel. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.